Hello, my name is Hugh Muruaga, and today I'm going to do the somatic speaking activity of Romeo and Juliet. Romeo and Juliet was a trilogy written in 1591, and it is settled in the 14th century in Italy. The A bit of the backstory is the Montagues and the Capulets are enemy families, and they don't get along very well, so they fight. But this affects the Romeo and Juliet couple, which are two teenagers who are madly in love, and this affects their relationship because it makes them kill themselves. So it is a very important tragedy written by Shakespeare, which is an inspiration for young adults and teenagers to not to live on a more fair and just society without fights, like our today's society. So, right now, I'm going to answer the question: does challenge social norms? Let's remember that in the 14th century, there were a lot of social norms for women, especially for women, let's say, because they couldn't have a lot of permits that they are now allowed to do. Like, for example, marry without their father's consent. So, when Juliet marries Romeo without her parents' consent, this breaks one social norm made in the 14th century. This affects her relationship with her father because her father fights with her in this scene where I'm gonna quote: doesn't she realize how unworthy she is of the gentleman we have found to be her bridegroom? Act 3, Scene 5, page 199. Here, her father says she's very ungrateful because she did not marry the person he wanted her to marry. So this sees how the social norms define that, and how she didn't do what her parents wanted to do, like was marry Paris. Um, in the movie, the father hits her. This is a reference of this breaking this social norm that was existed in the 19th century. And the other quote is, "Yes, sir, I told her, but she won't agree. She says thank you, but refuses." Act 3, Scene 5, page 199. This is what Lady Capulet says to Capulet when Juliet doesn't want to marry Paris. The next question is, how does Romeo or Juliet or another character change throughout the play? Well, I choose Tybalt because I think he's a very emblematic person for the play, because, well, he is a very honorful person who always thinks about the honor of his family, about revenging, and how he's a Capulet. He only hates the Montagues, so he's always talking bad about them. So Tybalt is always aggressive against the Montagues, with this is reference of how the society is not together, how these two families fight a lot. Then he also says they are their sworn enemies, and he also says that he hates them with all his might. So Tybalt never changes and dies because he was very aggressive against Romeo. So he dies because he challenged Romeo on a 1v1, and well, he obviously died too in a fight. So because of his hate against the Montagues, this affects the society because then Romeo is banished. So and this is what starts the problem of the play, thanks to Tybalt. Tybalt quotes: "I can tell by his voice that this man is a Montag. Get me my sword, boy. What does that peasant dare to come here with his face covered by a mask to sneer at and scorn our at our celebration? New by the honor of our family, I do not consider it a crime to kill him." Act 1, Scene 5, page 63. So here he explains that how he hates the Montagues and how it is his sworn enemies, and how it is so bad for him to, well, have this hate against them. Another quote is when he talks to his uncle Capulet, which is Juliet's father. Uncle, this man is a Montague, or enemy. He's a scoundrel who's come here out of spite to mock our party. Act 1, Scene 5, page 63. So here we can see how he always thinks about bad and how Romeo got into their party. Well, he thought he was mocking them. He was going to ruin everything, and he wanted to kill him. His uncle the Montag told him not to kill him, to leave him be alone. But then Romeo kisses Juliet, so they fall in love. Then Tybalt challenged Romeo on a fight, and here's where he dies, all because of his honor to his family, or however he calls it. This is a menace to a society because he doesn't think about other people. He only thinks about the honor, which is not an honor because this is of killing, of revenge, of enemy, of hate. This is wrong in a society, and that's why Juliet and Romeo killed themselves because of Tybalt.